Welcome to the Laughing My Age Off podcast. In today's episode, we will be talking about something that you probably eat on a daily basis. And most Americans eat, guess what, over 2.8 billion pounds of this specific product. And they say on average, one American, all right, eats about 11 pounds of this a year. Now, this particular product is something that will help slow down the aging process in 5 ways.
Embark on a journey to defy time with LMAO, Laughing My Age Off podcast. I'm your host, Erika Kelly, and I started this show because, like you, I'm curious about the secrets to staying youthful as the years go by. Join me as we discover the secrets to slowing down the aging process, exploring expert insights, cutting-edge research, and personal experiences that uncover the art of aging gracefully. It's time to laugh, learn, and embrace a life full of vitality together.
All right, number 1, it's going to help reduce the aging of the skin. Number 2, it's going to boost your mood. 3, it's going to slow down muscular degeneration, also called sarcopenia. Number 4, it's also going to help the brain. And number 5 is going to be supporting a healthy blood pressure. Okay, let's get into benefit number 1, and that is our skin. How is it going to help our skin? So there's a study that has been done with cacao, okay? This is not to be confused with when we say chocolate. I think a lot of things come to mind, right? There's over 2.8 billion pounds of chocolate eaten a year, but there are different types of chocolate that are going to contribute to reducing the aging process. And the ones that we're specifically talking about today are the ones with the higher percentage of cacao, okay? And we will get into that. So going back to the anti-aging benefit, how this type of chocolate will help reduce fine lines, will help improve elasticity of the skin. And so this study was done in Korea. They performed a 24-week test, all right? I'm just going to give you some of the details here. It was a randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled study to evaluate the effects of oral supplementation of cocoa flavonols on cutaneous photoaging. Okay, so they basically took participants, mostly Korean women with visible facial wrinkles, aged 43 to 86 years old. So participants were randomly assigned to receive a placebo beverage or a cocoa beverage that contained 320 milligrams of cocoa flavonols. So that is how much they gave them. And once that study was done after 24 weeks, they measured, all right, the wrinkles and if it reduced some of the aging process. And guess what? It did, all right? They found, in conclusion with the study, that in moderately photoaged women, regular cacao flavanol consumption had positive effects on facial wrinkles and elasticity. So we can eat the good types of chocolate to help with our skin, all right? And if you've missed some of our other episodes, we talk about a lot of things like from tea, tea and wine. There's polyphenols in those. In this, with chocolate, we're talking about the flavonols. The flavonols, the specific one that they're talking about here is called epicatechin. Epicatechin, all right? When you think of the benefits of cacao, of what's in that chocolate, you're going to think about that word, epicatechin, okay? So moving on to number 2, what's another benefit of eating really good dark chocolate with a higher percentage of cacao? It's a mood booster, whether you realize it or not. Whenever you reach for a piece of chocolate, there are things in the chocolate that really help with our mood, okay? And so what happens here is the cacao contains active compounds and nutrients that stimulate the brain's production of neurotransmitters and neuromodulators. So what does this mean? Well, when you take chocolate, what results in this is that there's a release of those feel-good hormones, endorphins, serotonin, and dopamine. All right, let's move into number 3. Good chocolate slows down sarcopenia. All right, sarcopenia, if you don't know what that is, it's when your body starts to lose muscle. And after the age of 30, every decade after 30, our bodies will naturally lose 3 to 5% of muscle mass. Okay. So again, 3 to 5% muscle will be lost after each decade after 30. Okay. And of course, there's other things we can do to reduce that, like lift weights and making sure you're really paying attention to your muscle mass. Okay. There have been studies that have been done with mice that help support the fact that this active flavanol in chocolate called epicatechin will reduce sarcopenia. Okay, so what they did is they had a control group of mice, of old mice, and then they had another group where they were giving this epicatechin to. And what they found showed a progressive, notable difference in the muscle tissue. Okay, so yeah, I think making sure you get enough cacao, to support your muscle mass is super important. Again, muscular, degeneration is something we don't want, because as we lose muscle, we lose strength, right? And when we lose strength, we lose the ability to do a lot of things. Okay, so moving on to number 4, one of my favorite ones lately is to learn about the brain and increase circulation of blood to the brain. All right. And what does this mean? Well, this means this it can help support memory, right? Or reducing memory loss, and it helps to reduce developing dementia. They go on to say that the flavonoids in cacao can improve blood circulation, and the epicatechins in chocolate, they help dilate blood vessels, which enables more oxygen to travel to the tissues. Okay, so there were even studies done at New England's University of Nottingham. They reported tests that were given to young women that were asked to do a complex task while their brains were being studied with magnetic resonance imaging. Okay, and among the women given drinks of cocoa high in flavonols, there was a significant increase in blood flow to the brain compared to the subjects who did not drink any cocoa. And this raises the prospect of using flavonols in the treatment of dementia. So this is really something that I am excited to learn about, because as we know, there's no cure as of right now to dementia. And so this increased blood flow to the brain is something very, I think, just eye-opening. There's one thing that we can do to reduce contracting dementia, and that's to eating chocolate. Okay, sign me up for that. Now for a commercial break. So I want to ask you, when is the last time you had a great tasting protein bar that wasn't full of garbage? I want to tell you, I gave up on protein bars a while ago because of this reason. They were either 1, full of garbage, or 2, they just tasted like cardboard. Okay. So I was really surprised when I was introduced to Nugo bars. All right. So Nugo bars are bars that don't contain bad oils, no sugar alcohols, and they taste really, really good. Okay. And they have protein to boot. So I love these protein bars when I need like a quick fix, when I need something sweet that will give me some satiety. Honestly, these are really good with a little coffee in the morning. Forget the donuts, forget the coffees, just take a bite of these. And now for a limited time, if you go to nugonutrition.com/fitandpretty, that's NUGO nutrition.com/fitandpretty, FITNPRETTY, you'll get 50% off 12 bars. So normally this box is $30. You'll get this entire box of 12 bars that includes 2 dark chocolate pretzels with sea salt, 2 chocolate chip. You get 2 peanut butter cup. You get 2 mint chocolate chip, which is my favorite. You also get 2 dark mocha chocolates. And your last 2 is going to be your dark chocolate almond with sea salt. So it's limit 1 per customer. Hurry while supplies last. And so there's also another study done by the Harvard Medical School, and they found there's similar health benefits in, okay, you ready for this? In the Kuna Indian tribe in Panama, all right? So they've been studying this tribe in Panama because this tribe in Panama has a lot of anti-aging benefits that we could learn from. And what they found with this tribe is that there are no reports of dementia. And so they're correlating this to drinking cacao beverage on a daily basis. I mean, they drink a lot of it. Then there's another study here that talks about from the Henriette van Praag of the Salk Institute of Biological Studies. They discussed this flavanol, the epicatechin, and they did some tests with mice. So this researcher goes on to say that when this chemical was added to their food, the mice showed improved ability to solve a maze and remembered it longer than mice without the flavanol. So they go on to say this epicatechin affected the hippocampus, the brain area, which is the main area where memory occurs. So there are a few studies there to help support chocolate is really good for our brains. All right, number 5. So chocolate can help reduce high blood pressure. Okay, there's many studies out there that support this. So there is an article in the medical news today that really hones in on this specific benefit of chocolate, okay? So the article goes on to say that flavanols in dark chocolate stimulate nitric oxide production in the body. Nitric oxide causes blood vessels to dilate or widen, which improves the blood flow and lowers blood pressure. So that's how it all works, my friends, is that those flavanols are really contributing to, getting that blood flow into the body and improves that blood flow. All right. And there was also a small 2015 study that investigated the effects of chocolate consumption in 60 people with type 2 diabetes and high blood pressure. What do you think they found? Well, they found that participants who ate 25 grams of dark chocolate daily for 8 weeks had significantly lower blood pressure than those who ate the same quantity of white chocolate. So, the findings also show that the benefits of dark chocolate on blood pressure might be more significant in older people and those with a higher risk of cardiovascular disease. There's also a Harvard Medical School study that found that this tribe that we spoke about earlier in Panama, they drink cocoa exclusively, right? So what they found is that these people who live in this tribe do not have high blood pressure. So they go on to say that these tribe members, if they move to cities, their blood pressure immediately goes up. So the one control that they have found in these tribes is that when they remove that cocoa beverage daily, that their blood pressure goes up. Now, let's talk about a few ways that cacao can be added to your diet, okay? So these are just 3 tips here. So dark chocolate, all right? So dark chocolate contains those higher amounts of cacao. Okay, so stay away from the milk chocolate. I know there's a big difference in taste, but go for quality dark chocolate that contains at least 70% cacao in it for the maximum anti-aging benefits that we talked about today. All right, you can also buy cacao powder and add that to your meals. You can add this to, I'm a big fan of the smoothies because you can throw so much into it. For baking recipes, add it to your brownies, cookies. And the last tip I have is buying raw cacao nibs. All right. They do go on to say that heating cacao is removing some of those anti-aging benefits. So the more raw, the better your anti-aging benefits here. So the raw cacao nibs are small pieces of crushed cacao beans that have a bitter taste and crunchy texture. So you can, again, just add these to your smoothies, or, if you're like an oatmeal type person, you can do that, or to your baked goods. And they go on to say, like, okay, so how much are we supposed to have? All right. So experts suggest between 1 and 2 ounces of dark chocolate. So that's about 30 to 60 grams. So, if you think about a square, those little square pieces, I would say it's about 3, depending on the brand. And I have to personally say that I don't eat too much chocolate. I think I've gone in kind of spurts of times when I do like chocolate. I'm more of a vanilla person, but I think I'm going to, based on this podcast, based on this show, probably get some cacao nibs. I think those would be very beneficial. And the good part is you don't need a lot of it, right, to get those benefits. It's just consistency, right? Just like anything else. So that is our show for today. I hope you learned something. I hope something that will help change your ways a little bit to reduce the aging process. And if you wouldn't mind leaving me a review, I would so greatly appreciate it so that more people can find the show. Thank you so much. Stay fit and pretty. Bye.